I literally just ate a bug. Not even like almost, like I swallowed, that bug is in my stomach. Now let's go toss some plastic. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we are in Scottville, Michigan, taking on the Labyrinth disc golf course. It has been a long time since I've gone into a course completely blind, but that is what we are doing today. We are starting off with a kind of tricky 253-foot shot. You want to hang dead straight, keep it low, and you need a strong left finish. So we are going to go with our Kia. Get around it. Oh, we got hit down by that bush, but I think we'll still have a long putt. Let's get started. Thank goodness this hole slopes quite a bit downhill at the end, otherwise the Kia would have never made it this far. Hole 2, it's 226 feet downhill the entire way. Again, you do want a left finish. This greater Ludington area loves its blind tee shots. I really hope that that's not how the entire round goes, but we are gonna full send our Rhino. Oh, don't be too high. That's too far, I think. Oh yeah, way too far. We hit the back wall of trees there. That was a good tree kick. Well, our tree kick wasn't all that great after all. I really didn't take the time to account for the massive elevation loss. I should have put a little more time into that. We have left ourselves a tricky second putt of the day, probably around 45, 50 feet. Nope. As expected with the second putt of the day. Hole 3, it's only 185 feet. It is uphill the entire way. As you can see, we just want a slight ante. Hopefully this is one that we can get a little run with our Envy. Nope, get through. All right, well, should be a pretty easy putt. A little anticlimactic though. Hopefully this course will warm up a little bit for us. I have two requests to please ask of you guys. One, if you are new here and you're enjoying the content, please hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. I do put a lot of effort into making these videos. And two, please leave in the comments your guys' opinion on the blind playthroughs. From a viewer's perspective, is it more fun when you can see the baskets and you can kind of see where I'm aiming to, or what? I would like to know the rundown. If it's not a big deal, cool. If you guys aren't the biggest fan of it, I can easily make that happen. Hole 4, 295 feet. It's downhill, sharp right finish the entire way. If you go with a big turnover putter shot, you're probably gonna get caught by that low ceiling protecting the basket. So we want a low, super fast forearm shot to skip up there. As you can see, I'm getting really creative with these super wide camera angles, but it's the only way I can give you guys an idea of where the basket is. Turn over. Oh, that's a mile deep. Oh my goodness, all that. All that just to throw it dead straight into the woods. You would have seen that just fine from behind the tee pad. We are so far back in this bramble. I'm just gonna pick up my Halo Boss again, try it on a big spike hyzer. Hopefully we get out and get close to the pin. Oh. All right, that seemed pretty good. It sounded like a solid hit. How you doing, Hunter? Oh, thanks for asking, Hunter. What'd you have for breakfast? Oh, just bramble. Just a mouthful of bramble for breakfast. Hey, that turned out pretty good. I would gladly take that. Hole 5, 520 feet. Some of the holes do have long tee pads, but as you guys can see, there's no tee signs, and most of the holes here are completely blind, so we're probably not gonna throw a ton of them, but we will give this one a shot. It looks like it's a slight ante the entire way, but honestly, I'm not sure. We're gonna try to get a nice flip up turnover shot with our Proto Hades. Don't hit the tree. We hit the tree. Unfortunate situation, we are still 305 feet from the basket. That tee shot is very tricky with this pine tree taking up most of it. We are just gonna have to step up to the plate now. We are gonna go with a light little toss with our PFN champion leopard. Should get over, hyzer out. Perfect. For the 3. Hole 6, you disc has it at 295 feet, but it does look a little bit longer than that to me. Plus it is slightly uphill the entire way. There is no hyzer lane. You can go with a big booming forehand or a slight turnover, which is what we are gonna try to do with our leopard. I think that may have been way too much Annie. Let's go find out. The leopard did turn out pretty good, but I'll be honest guys, we pushed those limits quite a bit. That could have very easily turned into a lost disc, so I'm very thankful for that. Hopefully we can knock down this 32 footer slightly uphill for the 2. Oh, not a bad putt. Not great though. We try to make those. Hole 7, it's only 190 feet, and as you guys can see, we do have some slight ace run potential here. This is kind of a tricky line. You want a slight flip up to left finish, and the basket is blind from the tee pad. We are gonna full send the Envy. Okay, it did finish left. Hopefully we have a putt. What an absolutely deceiving hole. This drop off is so much bigger than it looks on camera, and you can't see any of that from the tee pad. It is absolutely pouring rain right now. I don't know what it is, but every time I come to Ludington, the forecast will say it's clear, and then it will just start downpouring on you randomly throughout the round. It is awfully close to the lake, so it does make sense, but gosh dang it, Ludington, you're always such a pain. Hole 8, 270 feet that way, you know what I'm saying? This is one of the craziest blind holes I've ever seen. It looks like it is a huge hyzer shot, probably extremely hard to reach to the basket. You'd probably want some big crazy turnover sidearm shot, but we are gonna go the backhand with our scepter. I wanna let you guys know I did finally get this beautiful replacement. I got it on a pretty good deal. The Halo S blend just wasn't cutting it. All right, let's play the game of too much or not enough hyzer. You know, I will gladly take this. I do think a really cool turnover sidearm shot is the play here. We've left ourselves a really long one, probably a little over 60 feet for the 2. Oh, nice run. Hole 9, it's 213 feet. Dead straight downhill. I believe it is by that tree up there just peeking above the hill. We are going to go with a big tomahawk with our Pro Destroyer. I think that should be pretty good. A tomahawk or a thumber ace is the only thing that would just make my bucket list complete. To be fair, I thought we were going to end up a little bit closer, but we will still gladly take this. For today's hole 9 break, I do want to go over one of the more funny moments that I did experience while being on the road. Towards the end of my trip, I had a couple months straight of not really having a solid place to sleep. I finally got that opportunity to crash somewhere out in the woods with Greta, and I could not have been more excited. I can't put into words to you guys how nice it is after a long time of having wild sleeping on the edge of your bed nights to get that nice, calm, peaceful oasis. But of course, in the middle of the night, I wake up to some very strange noises. I am hearing a lot of feral cats outside of the van. After about a half hour, I did get sick of it, and I did send Craig out there because feral cat is actually his native language, so I really thought that he'd be able to take care of this situation. After about a solid hour of this, I had had enough. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning. I jumped out of the van. And sure enough, behind each of my back tires and in front of the engine bay was a feral cat, and all they were doing was just screaming at each other back and forth in some kind of turf war. And it seems like the only thing that they would come to an agreement on was Craig, because he was tore up. You know what I mean? He was tore up, he was out of there, he was out of the equation, but needless to say, I shooed them all away. It was one of the wildest things when you think you finally get a break, leave it up to being disrupted by feral cats. Hole 10, 252 feet, dead straight, way downhill, very tricky shot. My intrusive thoughts are telling me to throw a giant spike hyzer up in the air, so that is exactly what we're gonna do with our scepter. Get down. Oh, that might be perfect or it's shorter. I have no idea because it's blind. Definitely must have hit the tree because the scepter loves to tombstone, but we may have been close there. Hole 11, U-disc has it at 278 feet from the longs. It is way uphill to the left, very tricky tee shot with this pine tree right here. These tee pads feel like absolute ice back here in the woods. It did rain a lot last night. It feels like they're covered in moss, but we are gonna full send our Firestorm. All right, that worked out pretty good. I think it's gonna be a long and tricky putt though. I literally just ate a bug. Not even like almost, like I swallowed, that bug is in my stomach. What is going on? Okay, we have left ourselves, we've left ourselves this very tricky putt, probably about 40 feet. I don't know if it's really makeable, but gosh darn it, we're gonna try. I mean, what did we expect after that? Let's be honest. For the three. Hole 12, it's 360 feet, dead straight, slightly uphill. We do have a guy ripping around on a mower up there, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to finish the putt, but I believe that this is the first hole, maybe second, that we can see from the tee pad. We are gonna full send our champion orc. Oh, that looks so good. Get down. All right, I think that was a really good shot. Hole 13, we gotta move quick before the mower comes back, but we have 180 feet. It is slightly tucked off to the right, and we are gonna full send our Piwaka Waka. Just go in the basket. Oh, that had to be pretty close. We did catch a little bit of a cut roll there. Hole 13 or 14, I'm not entirely sure. We are at the long tee pad. The rangefinder has it at 325-ish feet. We are gonna full send our champion leopard. Oh my goodness, get down. All right, the beef on that thing really surprises me. Leopard took a long time to find. As you guys can tell, these back holes are pretty overgrown. They're in desperate need of a mow. Luckily, that guy is here today. Hopefully, we can knock down this long putt, probably about 53 feet for the two. I'll be honest, guys, this is an absolute swamp. My feet are soaked. Some of the water around here is like 4 or 5 inches deep of mud. This is not a good time. I had no idea that it was gonna be this muddy here up at Labyrinth. It hasn't been that rainy in Michigan lately, but needless to say, the white pants trashed. But luckily, my mother runs a dry cleaner and she's a seamstress, so one of my favorite things to do is just casually drop off a destroyed white pair of pants for her to clean. She doesn't find it this funny, but you know what? Yesterday was Mother's Day. We're past that now, you know what I mean? She's not gonna appreciate this one at all. Hole 15, it's only 182 feet. It is an absolute meat hook to the right. I think usually I would try to flick my splice up there, but with the long grass and mud, we're not gonna get any ground play. So I am gonna try to go with a big tomahawk up and over in this V-gap up here, and hopefully it lands by the basket. All right, let's go find out. I'm really happy with that shot. I think we're a little bit outside of the circle. Hopefully we can knock this putt down. Oh, just a little low. Hopefully we can end strong. Hole 16, this looks like a fun one, 262 feet. It is dead straight. It's got that big tree right in front of it. You can try to get a backhanded flex shot, but you gotta land quick, or a very nice finessey forearm. We are gonna full send our Kotuku. Oh, it looks really good. Get down. Oh, really nice shot. Very happy with that. For the much needed 2. Hole 17, it's only 205 feet, dead straight. We are throwing towards that opening in the woods. We're gonna try to give it an ace run with our Rhino. Huge bummer, we just barely clipped that branch, took a lot of wind out of our sails. For the 2, and rounding off our very eventful day here at the Labyrinth in Scottville, Michigan, we have hole 18, 260 feet. You can go with a slight flip up hyzer the entire way or a slight ante shot the entire way. We are gonna take the ante shot with our Skeeter. The Skeeter turned out well. I did get pretty quiet there. I was laser focused trying to keep my eye on where this disc went. I think if we went down the hyzer flip lane, we would have been perfect because I never really got the ante with the Skeeter, but it did hold straight very well. Hopefully we can knock down this 40-foot uphill putt to end on a good note. Come on. No, dang it. As I was walking out of here, I noticed that he did get the mower stuck. That's how swampy it is. I did ask him if he needed help pushing it out. He said no, he's gonna get his truck. I don't think he realizes who he's talking to. You know what I mean? I once pushed a car downhill. So like, just let that sink in. And that wraps up today's video here at the Labyrinth in Scottville, Michigan. And guys, it goes without saying, it was very clear the course is absolutely thrashed right now, and I'm just gonna chalk it up to catching it on a bad day. As you can see in the video, there is a guy out here today mowing. I'm not sure why it's holding so much water, but at the end of the day, that is springtime in Michigan. So with taking all of that out of the equation, the big takeaway from the Labyrinth, like it is for many of the courses here in Ludington, is a lot of blind shots. I'm not sure why that's such a reoccurring theme here in Ludington. The 2 most blind shot courses I've ever played were both in this city. I will say, as I did enter the back half of the back 9, the holes did open up a little bit. They weren't super easy, but they were more enjoyable. You could see the baskets, you could see a fun kind of line you wanted to aim for. I'm sure as locals and really understanding the course, you begin to love them, but I will say this, I will stick by it. It happens to me and my friends. We come out here about once a year to play some Ludington courses. It makes for a long round with all the scouting that you have to do. As you guys could see, the tee pads were pavers. I have no problem with that. There was good signage from hole to hole. They were small signs, but they got the job done. And the tee signs just merely had a number and a distance on them, something with a form of arrow. Even a 2x6 with an arrow written on it would do this course a lot of justice. Very similar to the other courses in Ludington, you will need a good amount of shot shapes if you really want to lay down a good score. These courses are not some walk in the park. They are very tricky, blind, and you have to trust your shots, but the lines, they are there. This course is pretty tricky for me to give a rating to. As you guys could tell, my experience was not that great, but if I'm putting myself in the mindset of a nice summer day with a nice dry course and maintained, which I believe it is, Ludington usually does a great job of maintaining their courses, I think I will give Labyrinth the overall score of 7 out of 10. Don't get it confused, this course is not bad. If you have the time and maybe you have a buddy to help kind of keep an eye on your disc, you should definitely come check it out. It is fun. There was some creative shots, a lot of elevation gain. Overall, it is rock solid. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Now it's your turn to go toss some plastic.